goodness.
Anyway, you're getting ready to introduce the checkboard.
Checkboard magazines. I wondered if I could say hello to my aunt and uncle before we start.
Certainly.
Okay. I don't have very many relatives left in the world. Evelyn Kinser at Making is my mother's sister, and J.B. Fleener at Making is my mother's brother.
Well.
Also, Georgia May Stallard is my uncle's wife, and she's the mother of Judy Kinser, who's going to sing here tomorrow.
Well.
Judy and I are first cousins.
Well,
yes, so I want to say hello to my relatives. I have lots and lots more cousins, but Judy sings the best of all of them. Everybody sings, though. Yeah. Okay. Well, Rick, this is your own copy. We want to present it from the old school committee, because you've done so much for us, you and Heritage TV, to let the people know what's happening at the school. And we get lots of good response from it. So it's not a really great reward, but we want you to share.
Yes, it is.
Share with us here. And Betty Hunsaker's quotation was, "Tell Rick he won't know many of the people in it, perhaps, but his dad will." But we want to make sure Wilburn's little boy gets one of these. So,
well, bless y'all's heart.
I hope you will like it.
Thank you so very much. I will treasure this. I really will. Thank you.
We wrote your name inside in love, and the people on the committee are Charles Dixon, who is the chairperson, and Betty Hunsaker.
Let's keep this off the mic.
I'm one. Okay, that would help.
Yeah, it's okay.
Betty Hunsaker, Pelma Dixon, Paul and Peggy Greer, Ked Sanders, and Larry Bray. We're the ones on the committee.
Well, from the bottom of my heart, thank you all very, very much.
Well, I
really appreciate it.
I'm glad that that you're a part of this, because we could never have got it out without you the way it has.
Well, you were doing a pretty good job. Well, but I'm glad any way I can help.
You know how the picture's worth 1,000 words and a TV shot's worth 1,000,000. Is that what it is?
Okay, I'll buy that.
It's a lot. And so the checkboard, if you want me to, I can just kind of fast forward through some of it, because our time's a little brief.
Right.
Okay. Would you hold yours up to where they can see it? Because I've got so many tabs here.
Okay. You just tell me what page to go to.
Okay. First of all, the title of it.
Okay.
The checkboard. A lot of people, I would hear them talking about it, and they would say the checkerboard, and I thought they're envisioning a checkerboard.
I was one of the ones who called it a checkerboard.
A lot of people did.
Explain to the folks why it's called checkboard.
All right. You can tell by the picture, there's a little man standing there holding onto a tag. Every person that worked for Consol had his own number, or her own number, I assume. And so they hung on a board just like the one you're seeing there. And when the person came in, if their tag was there, they knew they were there. And so it's called the checkboard, because each person was individual, each person had a number, and everybody was important. And so that's why it's called the checkboard. And the magazine that was printed by Consol in 1945 to 52 was called the checkboard. And we've taken almost all the material in this book. We have 148 pages.
It's a heavy, thick book.
It is heavy. You can buy it for $15. If you want it mailed, it costs $18, because it is very heavy. And it's made of heavy paper because we chose to do that. The original checkboard magazines were printed on this same thing, and they've lasted 50 years, and they're going to go longer than that. So
that's a good choice.
Yes, we just couldn't do anything else but that. So I think it'll be very worthwhile, and almost every family in this town will find somebody in their friends and relatives that they know.
Absolutely.
And there's so many stories about it, and we have just a little overview of our program for the school. Please look on page 5.
Okay. I feel like I'm back in school,
Oh,
right?
dear, I feel like I am too. Sorry, I just retired in June. Turn to page 5, quickly.
Yes, ma'am.
And stop that. That's making you feel more comfortable.
I'll write it home now. Okay, he's zooming in here on page 5 would be the side with the pictures.
Well, yes, it says progress of renovation of the old Jenkins School, and it tells us that we had originally $1.5 million to begin the project. And so phase 1, which is the outside of the building, has cost $1 million already. And it looks so beautiful. There's a picture of the school that was taken in August And this is Old Jenkins School. Turn the page if you would.
Let him pull back out.
You can. Okay. Just hold on. We'll do that one next.
Okay.
But when we turn the page, you will see the Old Jenkins School as it is right now, because Ted and Charlie took that picture last week. The thing you were seeing there, I didn't want the people. It's on page 6. Right. If you have to look really carefully to tell it from the old good ones, don't you?
You do.
And this is what it looks like now. And Ted and Charlie took that picture only hours before it was put on the computer. Our hat is off to Gary Jesse.
You can see the new fence there?
Oh, yes, it is. And, of course, a little higher than the old one because the government required that. But the landscaping's been done. Everything's been done outside. That needed to be done. And the county has purchased, with part of the grant, 4 sets of property in the back of it for parking. So we're going to have some nice parking areas too, and handicap access is already being done.
Fantastic.
So these are the things. Then the next phase is going to require a large grant for electrical work, the whole building, plumbing, the whole building. It has 40,000 square feet. Plaster work, the walls, the floors, and
have you estimated how much this might cost?
$3 million more.
We need $3 million more.
Yes, we do. So we know that. Nobody, if they sold everything all of us have, we couldn't raise that, but the government has it.
Well, now, there's something else people might not know, or you all have roughly $500,000 right now. Now, why haven't you go ahead and spend that on the school and take care of some things?
That's a good question. The reason is that we can use that as matching funds and greatly enlarge it. The committee went down to hear Ernie Fletcher speak. Because we're interested in all the people that are running for office now. We're going to, after they're elected, we're going to ask them to help put in a technology training center there, which will finish the building. So we want to talk with Mr. Chandler, who's also running, and Hal Rogers, who's already there, and a lot of people about it. And because that's the kind of grant we need. And I heard somebody at that meeting say, you can take $2 and we can turn it into 10.
Well, see, matching funds, some of them might not understand what you mean. In other words, they may say, we'll give you $500,000 if you will match that $500,000.
Yes.
So you've got it in the bank, you could do that. Or they could say, we'll give you $1 million if you'll match it by 50%. And again, you come up with the $500,000, you get the $1 million. That's how that works.
Yes, it's exactly how it works. So 2 for 10 would be what, 20%?
Yeah, great.
That's what we're hoping that $500,000.
But if you don't have the 2, you're not going to get the 10,
yes.
Right? Okay.
And so the committee has set a goal to raise $300,000 of our own to show them that the community wants. And Letcher County is a county building. It's not just a Jenkins building.
Right.
It belongs to Letcher County. That we are serious about putting ourselves into it too.
Yeah.
So we're coming along with donations. So many people are kindly donating money. They're donating their time, which is the same as money, since we'd have to hire it done if they don't come and do those things.
Oh yeah.
So we've just been very well pleased with the way everybody supported it, and just speaking to or writing to the people that are in office or the ones that are running for office, and keeping them aware of the school and its project and its importance. That would help us so much. Their influence. We need that as much as anything.
Well, you're talking to the right people, sounds like.
Okay. Well, let me just talk to you a little bit about the book. I have so many people here that I'm just going to read the names, and then I'm gonna kind of focus in on Miss Bato, the lady I told you about, Mr. Snap, Francis Gary Powers, and Dr. Perry, and then anything else that I mentioned that you want to go back to, we will.
Very good.
I'm looking through again, and page 5, that looks like graffiti. And it looks like somebody saying, we're going to get rid of this. No. These are the signatures of our friends, many of whom are with the Lord, we hope. And yes, they are.
If you think the graffiti's that picture there, right?
Yes.
Okay.
See,
it's not graffiti.
It is not. We're going to shellac over it, or whatever they do now, and save it, because these, and there's not one bad word on the wall. I'm just glad we found it before it was all totally destroyed. So we're keeping it. And you will probably see some of your relatives' names up there. Come to the old school and look at it. By the way, we have tour today, 4 o'clock. and tomorrow at 2 and 4.
2 and 4 tomorrow. That's the old school.
And so they can come and look at that if they want to.
Alrighty.
Page 6 is the new picture.
We showed that one.
There's a picture of what everybody talks about, the recreation building. That's where the hospital stands now. It's on page 23.
Okay.
And as you can see, there are many more things there besides that. And some of these things are gone, but they're not gone from our hearts and our memories. All the sweet things are still there. You see a picture on the page that you're holding.
Look how beautiful that is, man.
It had a Greyhound bus station. In there, it had an ice cream parlor, restaurant, as you can see, and then upstairs were hotel rooms. Downstairs, they had pool hall, and and haircuts and shoe shines, and on the back side of that building, there was a shoe repair store that was run by the uncle of Francis Gary Powers.
Man.
Yes.
He is world famous.
Yes, he is. And we have a little special thing on him. Yes.
I saw that in there already.
I'm so pleased, and I hope we get to see his son. I hear his son is interested in, seeing things done for his father.
Well, how nice.
And so I wrote the little write-up, and it's all over the internet.
Well, congratulations.
Well, it's nothing that will get a Pulitzer Prize, but it has lots of love in it.
There you go.
On page 29, there's some special people. I'd like to point out especially the ones that are still here and you can talk to. Libby Craig is on that page. These are the people that work for Champion Stores. Libby Craig is there. Estelle Bukovich is there. Fred Davis. You know Fred? If you go over to Hardee's.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And
she's my neighbor.
and Ruth Coffey. Did Ruth pass away? I'm not sure. I haven't seen her in a long time, and I know she wasn't well. She lives in Whitesburg, had a beauty shop down there. But she's Adams, Ruth Adams.
Ruth Adams?
And, but she's there, and so precious, so many of the people are. On page 30 and 31, you see the people that were operators that said, "Number, please." Now, you don't remember that, except for Kid, maybe. I don't know how old Ray is. You think he does?
I don't know.
Telephone man. But when I told people, it hasn't been really a long time since Jenkins only had 3 numbers. Mine was 968. We had 3 digits in our phone number. Do you remember
this stuff, Ray, or is this familiar?
He's too young.
Okay.
But Kid does. 1912. But these are the people that said that, and so Jenkins had a lot of things people in this area didn't have. On page 32 and 33, you see what is now a church, but was the theater at that time, and the little write-up under the bottom of it. You'll recognize that there is another dollar store now, right where that dollar store was, that 5 and 10 and dollar store, and the theater beside it. Seats better than 8,000, it said. I'm sorry, 800. 800, which is big for this area.
Oh, goodness, yeah.
It was so beautiful, and many happy thoughts there. When I thought Dad wouldn't be there.
Okay.
But then there are pages that tell about the people that work there. On page 34, there are some special people. You see a quartet of nice-looking young men. Ernest and Jean White, Kyle Estes, and Larry Hillman. 3 out of 4 of those became band directors. Jenkins had terrific band directors. And the White boys went on and became state officers, state educators. Then below that, you see some beautiful, beautiful girls.
Oh, the
I know you can't see that one, so see?
Yeah, man.
The second from the right is Sue Carol Killen, who married Jim Chandler, the guy from West Point. And she's passed away now.
Bless her heart.
And he has a lovely wife named Sylvia now, and we hope to see them. They wanted to come up here today, but couldn't. They're moving from their home in southern Tennessee to Johnson City.
Oh.
And they, I got an email from Jim last night, and he said he's sending his cousin, David Blizzard, in to see us, and that and Thurman Blizzard too. They're Jenkins boys.
Okay.
With his check of his donation to the old school.
All right.
So we're very pleased with that. And you can see some of the bands. They're just pages and pages of bands because, especially page 38, the little write-up underneath that. Oh, I'm guessing that's about 1947, 46. It said it's the best band in Dixie. Isn't that neat?
Wow, the whole South. Huh?
Well, that's what we thought, and a lot of people thought that. They won lots of awards. The gentleman
Man, that's
in
a huge band. Look at that. Goodness
yes,
gracious.
and that's only the A band. The B band and C band were earlier. See, they're
So
on the
you-
page before that.
Right. Well, we'll just stick with the A band for right now.
Yes.
Look, that is awesome looking. That is
Oh,
fabulous.
yes.
The uniforms, the instruments.
It was so thrilling. I lived on High Street, and I could hear them practice. And so could everybody in the building if they practiced during school. I'd like to point out the tuba player on the last row at the upper left. It's John DePriest.
Oh, that's John?
Yes.
Well.
Our cousin. It's Mr. Shook's first cousin.
Really?
His mother was a Shook.
Well.
So that's John DePriest and his...
Everybody knows John.
Oh, yes. Well, his grandson, John DePriest's grandson, Adam DePriest, is a senior this year at Jenkins Middle High. So those people still have relatives here.
Yeah, Adam helped us out during some of the basketball games last year.
Yes.
He was real nice. Also during some of the football games.
Oh, very, very sweet kid and ready to go, you know. That's just the old Jenkins spirit, isn't it?
That's exactly right.
I think you're going to see somebody you know on page 42, maybe more than one. Okay, these are kings and queens from Burdine. And Roger DePriest, a lot of people knew him. He's not related to John, really, but he's related to the Bentley family.
Okay.
And there are still some DePriests here that he's related to. Then you're going to see Joe Eddie Eversole.
Well, everybody knows Joe Eddie, I'm sure.
Yes, he was a king. And Tandy Bates. Tandy Bates' grandchildren, two of them have just graduated from Jenkins. Allison Wyatt and Leslie Stanley. Beautiful, beautiful girls, very smart. And we have one left. I think maybe the last one is Sarah Stanley, who's going to graduate this year. But those are Tandy's grandchildren. And Allison ran out and hugged me yesterday and said, Is my papa's picture in that book? I said, I believe it is. And there it is. So many things that I'd love for you to see, but we best
and people who are watching, they can own this book. They can take it home with them.
$15 and keep it, because for years everybody's been afraid to lend the checkboards because they might not come back, or when they did, there might be a picture cut out.
And how can they get this book?
Well, the easiest way from right here is booth number 1.
Booth number 1 at Jenkins Day. So.
But also the library and the old coal museum, and at the old school during tours, or from any committee member.
So listen, if you're here for a family reunion, you live out of town, you want one of these, very easy. Come out to Jenkins Days, go to booth number 1, and $15 out the door.
That's it. And
this money is going to...
the profits will go to further the old school renovation.
Very good.
And we only printed 500 of them. I bought 6.
So
they're going.
And I've got one here. So
yes. That's an extra one. So so we're. I would say buy them quickly. We can have more printed, but if you want the ones that are for sure printed, they're going pretty quickly. And we're buying one for everybody in the family. That's the reason.
Why? And a lot of
because
people
everybody
do
wants
that.
a picture of Grandpa.
Yeah.
You know? On page 45, you see Ab Williams being crowned band king. He was also a football king, because you'll see a picture in there where he broke a state record of being scoring the most points in one game that year. Ab did, and he was crowned there. And the beautiful lady beside him is
Is
LaVon.
it the top picture or the bottom?
Yeah, top.
Oh, my bad.
One.
I've got you in the wrong
No, it's
picture,
okay.
Ray.
And the beautiful lady beside him is LaVon Burke and is Truman Sexton's wife.
Well,
Truman Conley's wife. Sorry, we had two
as I say, Truman
Trumans.
Conley, yeah.
Truman Conley's wife. Isn't she lovely?
She is.
And still is. And the one beside it that says "Laugh It Off," that page that's beside it.
Over here.
That's a production that was done here on the old stage.
Those are some tiny pictures. He might
Oh,
have a
they
hard
are so
time.
tiny. I'll just tell you about them.
You can try if you want to, Ray.
It was what it was. It's about the stories from the newspaper, and there were little skits from different stories from the newspaper. Like today, we might do one on people running for office or whatever. And so they were funny papers.
Okay.
And these people, a lot of them are still here. That's what I was telling Mr. Ambergy. This was just a Jenkins production. The Seth
Awesome.
Keegan that's here is the son of the Seth that's there. But the talent goes on.
Yes, it does.
Then we have Miss Bato, the lady I was telling you about on page 50.
Okay.
She's the one that taught us to read. And I wrote this little thing about her. And I'm just going to read you a tiny bit.
Yeah.
Page 50.
Okay.
Mary Jo Bato is a name that brings back memories of the first grade to 30 years worth of Jenkins students. We all remember her rhythm band and the instruments we played. We remember learning to read about Dick and Jane and Spot. We also learned to add, spell, and write in cursive before our first year was over. The most remarkable part is that the first and second graders only went half a day.
My goodness.
So then the second half of this tells about her history, that she taught music, and I believe that because I still remember the first song that we learned in her class. She taught music before she came here, and she taught at Fleming Neon before she came here, but when she came to Jenkins in 1922, she stayed here for 30 years.
My goodness.
Teaching first graders forever, and that's her picture. I know a lot of people would love to see it.
She was from Boston, right?
She was from Boston, Kentucky. Did you ever hear of it?
No, that's what I said. You're looking Boston, Kentucky.
Boston, Kentucky, and she
We've
went.
got London, Paris, and Boston, right?
But don't we have everything we need here? Yes, we do.
Yeah.
And she left Jenkins to go to Sonora, Kentucky, and I'm not sure where that is, but she taught there for a while. And we could not find the date of her death. I'd like to read the closing.
Okay, please do.
It says, we were unable to find the date and details of her death, but perhaps that doesn't matter. In the hearts of her students, Miss Bato will live as long as they are alive. She will live even longer in the influence that she had in teaching those future parents, minors, teachers, soldiers, doctors, lawyers, and legislators to strive each day for excellence. I had to say it.
That is outstanding.
She
That
was
is very
outstanding.
Yeah, I've heard you talk about her very often.
Yes, and I didn't get my knuckles wrapped either.
Oh.
Some people gotta occasionally, but I was a good girl. She didn't put my artwork on the wall though. It wasn't really that good, or if it was up there, it was about the last one. I couldn't stay in lines. Still can't.
I couldn't either, so.
No. Oh, look on page 68 for a treasure.
Alrighty.
This is a whole page dedicated to laboratory work for Consol, but it's really about Joe Bukovich.
Joe Bukovich.
Yes. You'll see Joe walking everywhere. He still walks downtown, walks back home.
Yes.
It's Estelle's husband. They're both still here. They live on High Street. They were my neighbors forever. This is about
Well.
Joe.
That was, what year was that?
Well, not sure, 40, 48 maybe. We don't have the year on each page. His daughter Brenda became Brenda DePriest.
Okay.
Okay, and because she married Joe, that's what did it.
Yeah, we had Joe jumping out of an airplane here the other day.
Oh dear,
along
that's
with
another one of my
Ken.
husband's cousins. Surely not.
Him and Ken were flying out of airplanes. I'm
Oh,
telling you.
buddy, I'm not surprised. They probably didn't need the airplane. They're high-flying guys. Well, I'm looking at page 77. I'm just giving you a little sampling of what the book's about. This is about mine rescue. Now, Ked and Charlie chose the pictures from the mining because we ladies didn't really know that much about it, but they got some good representative things. And one of those is Ernestine's father-in-law, Warnie Flint. He won a lot of things, and his name's just in here everywhere. And Clarence Dotson, I'm not sure if I mentioned his name is a member, but he's an important member of our community and our committee. He remembers old Jenkins a lot better than I do. He's a little older. He was a milkman here. He worked with the dairy, and he collects milk bottles. Jenkins had its own dairy, you know.
Right, very hard.
Yes, that's what they called it. But anyway, the Clarence Dotson you see here is his father.
Well.
Yes, and he was important in lots of things. I've seen his name on the walls around. And now he has, there's a grandson that goes to Jenkins Middle High named Clarence Dotson. So the third Clarence Dotson is here. And so we still remember all of those.
I got to meet him when y'all did the Jenkins cleanup recently. You had a little cleanup at the school. And
he knows so much.
He was enjoyed talking to him very much.
My hat is off to him. Not only does he remember the old stuff, but he's doing well with the new stuff. That's gone with me. Page 86. Page 86 is an important thing for Jenkins because that's when we had professional baseball team here. And it shows a picture of Ransom Jordan and also Ray Russell, who was a teacher here for a long time. Did he teach you by any chance?
No,
he was
but I have
heard. Well, he was a teacher when we were in school, and he taught at Bristol High too, Bristol, Tennessee High, before he came to here. But he pitched for the Yankees, and it was almost like a farm team for the Yankees. If you read the stuff, it tells where the people came from. So many were from New York that were on that professional team. And Ransom Jordan, of course, is the the great-grandfather of the Thomas Jordan that just graduated last year from Jenkins High.
Well,
Mary Hall's son.
Okay.
So the tradition goes on. His son, Bill Jordan, is on the facing page, ironically, page 87. And on the bottom row, he's the second guy from the left, and he became a state legislator. He's passed away.
Well, I'll tell you what, Rosemary. Now, folks, you've been watching. She's just up to page 87, and this thing's got how many pages?
148.
And as any good school teacher, she is more than prepared today. Why don't you give us a last shot or two here?
Okay.
And we'll go ahead and wrap it up. The people, you want to see the rest of it, come buy the book.
This is good. That'll save something for them.
There you go.
You might want to see the big page of Mr. Snap on 120.
Okay, we'll show page 120. There's Dr. Perry on 117 for folks.
Yes, if you want to show him first, you can.
Oh, we'll go ahead and show Mr. Snap real quick here.
Okay.
Everybody knows Mr. Snap.
So I won't tell his life, but
Well,
you know
you
how.
can. No.
No, I'd like for them to read it.
There you go.
Yeah, it tells a lot of the things that he did, but we can never tell all that he did.
Well, my favorite story is when he was close to 100. Well, he might have been more close to 80 or 90, but he was up on the roof,
with a bucket of tar, trying to save that old school.
Yeah.
If nothing else, in his memory, we're doing that.
We've got about 3 minutes of tape left.
Okay.
What other pictures?
Could I just show you?
You go right ahead.
Can he home in on me?
If you'll hold it real steady for
I
me.
will. I certainly will. I wanted him to see Bad John Wright and Mammy. Everybody in the 50s knew Mammy, and her last name is Rogers, and everybody loved her.
You got to hold it still.
You do it, buddy.
There you go.
I'm not steady.
That's okay.
I'm a wiggle worm. Okay, I want them to see those, and there's information there about those, and there's a lot of information about all aspects of Jenkins. I'd like you to see page 121.
Okay. Sorry about that, Ray.
I'm sorry. I thought I could, but I couldn't. I'm not like the little engine that could.
Well, you can do it, but you want to read it too.
Look at well, no, I'm sorry. 121 is
Okay.
Francis Gary Powers. That's the article about him.
Okay.
And the U2 plane at the bottom.
Yeah.
Okay, and page 117, that'll be our last one. And
Okay.
that's Dr. Perry.
Pull it back to go to 117.
It tells just a little bit about his life and
Now,
all the
Dr.
important
Perry,
people.
I can remember him coming to our little single-wide trailer we lived in as a little boy. So he's the
Well-
only doctor that ever made a house call that I can remember.
I don't think anybody has since then.
No.
But,
he was a valued member of the community also.
oh, absolutely. And I've asked them at the bottom of this article if they have any stories to share about Dr. Perry to mail them to us because we're collecting them.
Okay.
His daughter Shirley may be here today. She comes in quite often.
Well, Rosemary, I really appreciate this book. I really do. I'm going to absolutely enjoy just looking at the old pictures and where things used to be and how it used to be. And thank you so much for coming on the show. She is just such a good trooper now. We were trying to get guests on, and she's like, I'm retired. I can go on whenever, Ricky. I want to thank Ray Harrod again for doing some camera work for us. So join us next week. We're going to have on the show, tentatively scheduled, is Durd Nairmore, and also we're going to have Hunky Hall. And who knows who else.
All right.
Thank you again, Rosemary.
You're very welcome.
We're going to go ahead and call it a day, but we'll see you live back here on Heritage TV for Jenkins Day starting about 3 or 4 o'clock.
Well, she don't love me, but she loves my automobile. She don't love me, but she loves my automobile. She'd do anything just to slide behind the wheel. She says, what's it gonna take for you to lay your top on